2 years ago, what felt like a regular night, you know, watching TV, watching a movie on Netflix. Around this time, actually, just gone midnight, everything finished up, about to go to bed. But I thought, you know what, let's go on YouTube one more time, just see if anything's new, see if anything's happened. Go on YouTube, and there it was, 2 years ago. Bray Wyatt, dead, passes away, and it broke me. It genuinely broke me. I don't think I've ever cried that hard, ever. Like, I'm not really a big crier in a sense of like death or loss or tragedy. I'm not really a big crier. I've not had much to really cry about. But that was really my first kind of loss, Obviously there's been other losses, big losses, but, this one meant something to me, personally, I think I must have cried for at least a full hour, downstairs, midnight, going into 1 o'clock in the morning, dark, just sobbing uncontrollably, and just hoping that it wasn't real, or there was an update and he's okay, and it was just absolutely heartbreaking. It's like I'm refreshing Twitter and Instagram, and I'm seeing more people just realize it, and they're seeing it in real time, and then it was tragic. Bray Wyatt was a great wrestler, one of the most creative people I've ever seen in wrestling, and what he meant to me during a very important time in my life when I was growing up, becoming more confident, becoming more creative, betting more on myself as an actor or as a creative mind, was because of people like him. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. WWE for a long time wasn't very good. It was trash. But there was a period of time where Bray Wyatt was the best thing about it for at least a good 2 years or so. He was the only positive, no matter how hard they tried to hold him down. Every week I would look forward to him, and him only. He made me want to be creative. He inspired many people, myself included, to want to be different, to be out of the box, to think out the box, to take that risk, and then obviously he got fired, came back, and I think he cut one of the most emotional return promos of all time. It nearly made me cry when it happened. I haven't watched it in over 2 years because I don't want to watch it. I will cry again and more and more and more, and I don't want to do that. I don't think I've watched many Bray Wyatt things at all, really, in over 2 years, I just can't, I just can't enjoy it, I'll just get sad because gone too soon, he was healthy and then he wasn't, and he went away for a little bit, but there was rumors and reports like his return is coming soon, and all of a sudden it just all goes away. You know, it genuinely broke me. I guess this is how people felt when Eddie died. You know, this was my Eddie. And yeah, it's been 2 years. I don't really know if I'm over it, in a sense of like, I still can't watch his stuff. I still don't want to watch his stuff, in that, if that makes sense. I just don't feel ready to watch his stuff, you know. There was a documentary about him just over a year ago. I never wanted to watch that, because that just confirms it, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure very soon, maybe next year or whenever, he will be in the Hall of Fame. That's gonna be heavy, emotional. It's gonna be a lot. You know, Bray Wyatt was a part of my teenage years. You know, pretty much going into my adult life, he became a constant. You know, when people were critiquing him, you know, I was defending him. You know, think of the long-term vision, of the long-term goal, of the long-term plan, and I would be justified in that. And you know, I was such a huge fan of his work all the way until the very end. You know, he meant so much to so many, and it was an honor to watch him, you know. And like I said, that return, I've never been that excited for a return at that time. When he came back on that night, it's a video that I had saved in my phone for years. Not anymore, but I had it saved for a very long time, and I would, anytime I was bored or stressed or just sad, I'd watch it, and I'd feel happy again, because I'd remember where I was when I watched that return, and I remember how excited I was and how I celebrated it, and just how it made me feel in the moment, and the build up and the aftermath. And man, I guess it was just too good. I guess whatever was planned was just too good for this world, I guess, because that's how creative he was. That's how unique he was. That's how special he was, you know, and beloved he was by millions, fans and colleagues and other wrestlers and everyone else, you know. And 2 years later, it doesn't feel real. Like it, you know, I think I have accepted it, in a sense of, I don't, you know, like, I have accepted it. I'm not crying anymore about it, you know, but I don't know. It's a sense of I just don't want to think about it, you know. And you know, there's still probably a lot of questions for me personally in terms of how I feel about it and what's next on that. But one thing that I can say and that I will say is, wrestling for me just hasn't felt the same. And I don't mean in a sense of I'm not happy with wrestling. I still love wrestling, and I still find a lot of enjoyment from wrestling. But there's just that little void, I think, that's been there for 2 years now. That's just that little 5% or 10% that's just not there anymore, you know. Because wrestling for me was the distraction. It was the distraction from life, from just all my issues, from a pandemic, from my uni. It was a distraction, it was an escape. And then one night, there was no escaping from tragedy. My distraction became something that I just wanted just to just not be a part of, and to hope that, you know, what I was reading wasn't real. I've never gone so. I've never. I felt my heart stop. I felt my body just stop when I read that for the first time, and instant denial, instant disbelief, shock, tears, more tears. You know, I woke up the next day, early in the morning, went out, cried more, went for a walk, cried more, broke down, cried more, you know, broke down again, cried more, on the bus, cried more, went to the gym, cried more, went to work, cried more, and then, I don't know, a few days later, the crying just stopped. And I guess that's that then. I don't know if there'll ever be another wrestler like Bray Wyatt ever. He was too unique. He was too special. He was too beloved. He was too different. You know, and I am enjoying the work of the Wyatt Six. But it just doesn't hit the same, you know? But yeah, 2 years later, I miss him. I miss him a lot. I just hope that one day I'm able to you know, honor him in a way that I feel is worth it, you know, because he meant a lot to me, and he did a lot for me, more than I think anyone will ever know.